ब्रह्मचर्यव्रती दंडे वेदांत पंडित श्रीमद्विवेकयोगी मां प्रचोदयतु सर्वदा मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. Namaste to all of you. It had been a very hectic week for us because of the Universal Brotherhood Day competitions and so on. Still, somehow I managed to find time to sit with this favorite topic. Before entering into the 9th chapter, which I would like to call as the royal path for perfection, Raja Vidya Raja Kukhya Yoga, there were some more points in the 8th chapter which are worth our consideration. First and foremost, Why? What is the use of all this knowledge of Akshara Brahma, the ultimate truth in our day-to-day life? What has that got to do with our Amrit Parivar? That will be a question which will be haunting us. Those whose mind is still in a rudimentary stage of approaching Vedanta, these questions may arise. So we will just peep into that aspect. The best example is, why have we chosen in India to keep on our emblem the words Satyameva Jayate? If you ask today's parents, Satyameva Jayate, what does it mean? They won't be able to answer in a proper way. They may say some casual, you are my son, cow gives milk, tree gives fruits, some such slight things. But what exactly is meant by Satyameva Jayate? So before we enter into the Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yoga, there a clarification is necessary. What is that clarification? See, truth must become the prevailing, or what we can say, the central pillar of our existence. If our life is to have any value, what brings that value? Sri Ramakrishna Deva used to say, the Reserve Bank's seal with the governor's signature adds value to the note. Otherwise, that note has no value at all. In the same way, he also used to say, put any number of zeros, but unless you put one before it, the zeros are just zeros, they have no value. But the minute you put one before them, then each zero assumes its own value and its own position. In the same way, adding truth to our existence adds brilliance. Not only brilliance, adds shanti, peace, happiness, because everything is, in the final analysis, is centered on the truth. Once you accept truth, Holy Mother used to say, in Kali Yuga, sticking to truth is the greatest tapas. And we know now, in the present day, it is really a tapas, not to utter a lie. Maybe sometimes preparing ration card, we may add so many relations and cousins, they all become valuable when you are preparing ration card in good old days. But now, to some extent, because of our identity card, that has become a little under control. So anywhere you add truth, you will find artificialities get eliminated. Where do we start? Husband and wife relationship. It has to be based on absolute truth. Between the father, mother, and children, truth alone must prevail. Between the master and the servants, there should be truth. And between the boss and the subordinates, there should be only truth. So when truth becomes the prevailing factor in our life, everything else will be added, because everything else is radiations from this truth. And all that glory and glamour will be added into our lives. And what is that truth? Normally, we don't have much idea. So now, after going through the discussion, especially after discussing about the question and answer session of Gargi and Yajnavalkya, we have some idea. The Otaproda, that word we must always remember. What is pervading? Isha Vastamidam Sarvam, which is that pervading thing. Without that, there is nothing. When you take a drop of water, it says H2O molecules are there everywhere. So in that way, Othaprodam in the universe is that truth. So once at least a few Amrit parivars become centered in truth, you will find so many corruptive influences will be eliminated from the society. So when they say Satyameva Jayate, it is a warning to all of us. In our system, the judgment will be based on Satya. The ruling should be based on Satya. The government should work on Satya. Just imagine what will happen then. There will be nothing but prosperity. So this is straightforward, Rijitum, Arjavam. We must try to make it part of our life. We can say, yes, I shall not utter any untruth. We shall say, I shall avoid as much as possible artificial behavior, artificial things in our lives, and try to use as much as possible what nature has to offer. So there are myriad ways in which we can introduce this taste of truth into our day-to-day transactions. And to that extent, our health, our mental peace, our happiness arising out of human transactions, all that will improve. In this connection, I remember a very beautiful quotation, which I picked up as an intermediate student way back in 1951 when I was intermediate student in our English text. There was one quotation, I forget the order and all that now. Truth in human relations is of a dubious nature, hard to understand and harder to convey. For us, once we understand this Akshara Brahma, the Otaproda, tradition of the truth, it is not difficult to bring it into all our transactions. So remember, that is a significance, because Sri Krishna wanted Arjuna to get rid of all the misapprehensions and misunderstandings from his mind. So for that, the best remedy is to give him a intravenous injection of truth, but nothing but the truth. So Arjuna should know, and we know how the Mahabharata war, even Yudhishthira, I believe Yudhishthira's chariot never used to touch the earth. But from the time he uttered that half untruth, that Kunjara Ashwatthama Kunjara died, it came down onto the earth. Therefore, it should be our effort to make truth part of our lifestyle and make that as a tapas. Amrit Parivar should be the starting point for all that. We shall experiment it within our family, and from there it start percolating. See, for example, a master-servant relationship in our homes they are totally based on truth, those servants will be so happy. They will become more and more dedicated to us. Truth and sacrifice will enter into their behavior. They will become happier. They will be at peace, more and more at peace. Slowly, slowly, their karma will become karma yoga. So it is a chain reaction. The truth is such a beautiful medicine which our forefathers have discovered as the element existing in this whole universe, or the prota. For us, it is not at all difficult to understand it, absorb it, and make it part of our lifestyle. And that should be our effort. Before we pass on to the next chapter, Sri Krishna gives here, like when you get into a car and goes to a new place, the Google uncle will start showing us the directions for our destination. In the same way, in this chapter, Sri Krishna gives, in answer to Arjuna's question, what will happen to the jiva when he comes to this stage of understanding, how it will move further and further into higher realms. So in that way, Sri Krishna gives a very beautiful map of the movement of the jiva, which is striving to move onward and forward in its journey to the ultimate truth. So a yogic life, well lived, centered in Satya and Dharma, will go through very, very positive channels and then reach its final destination. In this connection, see, we must remember, in our old families, when we know our father or grandfather or granduncle, he is about to die, we will all be sitting near together, chanting some bhajans or Vishnu Sahasranama, Shiva Sahasranama, etc. So the man, even if he is unconscious, we hope and pray these vibrations of our prayers enter into him through his ears and may guide the jiva as it leaves the body. I can't but remember the death of my mother. She was on the deathbed 2-3 days without any jiva. And everybody was suggesting this, that. The normal reaction is to take her to a hospital, put what we call today as the ventilator and things like that. But my mother has warned us, never do such things to me. So we dared not move her. And on the final day of departure, for 2-3 days, all the members, so many people were the family members. We were all chanting prayers and things like that. On the last evening, it was about 7:30, 8 o'clock or something, somebody suggested, see, mother was so fond of that particular prayer about Shiva of the Vaikam temple, Vaikattappa. In that, there is a line, few lines, Padiyaram kadan avide yettumbol. After you pass through the 6 steps, when you move forward, you shall reach the ultimate. We were chanting that, and when we came to this last stanza, we could just feel the jiva moving, and finally getting out of her body, and we hope it has gone to its destination. That's sort of a wonderful experience. I had in my life. So we must bring that back. That is why I'm insisting on that. But these days, what happens is the children will be in America or England or Australia or wherever it is. When they heard the mother or father is dying in an old people's home or even at home, whatever it is, they would immediately contact some event management group to arrange for the beautiful death scene. They will come, they arrange this, they will keep the light here, this thing here, this and that. They will bring somebody who can read the Ramayana or whatever you want. They will be person to chant it and all that. They are ready to do. But the children may not be by the bedside, and the parents will die with broken hearts, not able to hear the voice of their children or the touch of their children, never getting the feeling of the love and affection from the children. So this mamata of love and attachment and the pain it has created in its absence, that luggage may remain heavy on the jiva. So in Amrit Parivar, we must make it a practice that such a thing doesn't happen. Even Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, Arjuna, there is only one way to reach me. Ma manusmara yudhyacha. Every time you must think of me and then do your work, whether it is war or peace or whatever it may be. And he also adds, then we may say, suppose some accident occurs and we don't remember it. So what he says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. There should not be a moment in your life when this awareness is absent from you. So this Akshara Brahma awareness, that each and every cell in our body, each and every system in our body, each and every thought, word, and action have been gifted to us because the Akshara Brahma, the everlasting truth, is permeating in and through all of them. So even if we are not able to think of a particular God or chant any name of something, this awareness should be kept in our mind. And Amrit Parivar should bring back this very simple but very, very essential habit of sitting near the old people, chanting the prayers which are dear to them, or the well-known Namavali or something like that, and see that the jiva carries with it this beautiful imprint of a godly thought. How wonderful it will be. So with that thought, that we shall also try to keep that awareness of Akshara Brahma, that is in all that is dying and decaying in our body, in our life, in our transactions, we will try to keep the prota, this awareness of the Akshara Brahma. Akshara, there is no Kshara in it, no death or decay in it. So that should be the characteristics of the Amrita family. We have to bring back into our Hindu families this sort of a consolation to the dying people, that the members of the family should sit near and chant, not having any commercial transactions at that particular moment of their departure, but have only this remembrance of the Akshara Brahma in whichever form we want, whichever God or Nama or Japa, whatever it may be. That should be one of our essential duties. That is why Akshara Brahma Yoga is important. So the question, why do we need to know about all that, is unless we know the extent, the Otaproda nature of this Akshara Brahma, we may not be able to make it part and parcel of our thought, words, and action. So it is very, very important. With those words, Sri Krishna pauses a bit, waiting for Arjuna to absorb his words. And we also, having learned about Akshara Brahma, rejuvenated with a new energy, with a new awareness, we shall step on to the 9th step, Rajavidya Raja Yoga, Raja Mukhya Yoga, the royal path to perfection. Every path which Krishna describes leads to perfection. But this chapter, he gives us so many credit cards. So many credit cards. Any one of them we can keep with us. Not for this birth alone, but throughout all the births we may take. That is the strength and potency of the credit cards which Krishna is to supply us in this particular chapter. That is why it is called the royal path. Only a king can give you, the ultimate entrance to the palace. Only he can provide. Nobody else, not our government or the central government or election commission. All those cards are valid here and there. But the card which will take us onward and forward in our evolutionary journey, that can be given only by Sri Krishna. So when Sri Krishna started going deeper and deeper into the truth of existence, Arjuna felt something is deeply penetrating into me. Some intravenous injection of glucose, giving us a new energy. Arjuna could feel the links of his ignorance, the links of his Maya breaking off, and not only the ignorance, but also of his ego breaking off, and a deep sense of humility replacing his ego. Suddenly it dawned upon him, oh, I am nothing at all in front of my friend. For the first time he felt, all the time he used to look at his biodata. The biodata, a very handsome prince, the best warrior, belonging to the Kuru dynasty of Hastinapur, Pandu's middle son. He used to be so happy about his biodata because also that biodata had a golden tinge about it, as different from all our biodatas. Arjuna's biodata had a golden border on it. And that border was, he is the closest and dearest friend of Sri Krishna, and he is also Sri Krishna's brother-in-law. So on that golden hue, he used to be so proud. But now, having listened to Sri Krishna's deeply penetrating advices, all that ego got shattered. And from the feeling of a great warrior and a prince, he gets transformed first into a devotee of Sri Krishna. He understands here is the Lord and Master of the universe, and I am just a devotee. And then later, still further, he feels that I am nothing but a very, very humble disciple. It is with that he prays. The background picture of my talk, you will see in front of Sri Krishna, is with all adoration and humility, Arjuna is sitting. So this transformation happened to him, and when Sri Krishna knew Arjuna is now amenable to take my advices, he starts elaborating on his glory. Maya tadamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina matstani sarvabhutani nachaham teshvavastudha. Once again, imprinting on Arjuna's mind that there is nothing in this universe in which his presence is not there. So for us, we have already got in our mind the Otaprota truth, and we can very easily absorb these words of Sri Krishna. So the whole 9th chapter is to prepare Arjuna's mind towards the final realization of the oneness of the universe, the amazing vision of which will be revealed to him very, very shortly. Through highly inspiring and revealing expressions, Sri Krishna guides Arjuna into this very difficult path of leaving all the extraneous interests and concentrating only on this Akshara Brahma. Everywhere the stress is on unity in the diversity. He reveals to Arjuna that all the 5 elements work as per my direction and command. And because of that, every act of worship, every yajna, every oblation are nothing but reaching out to the ultimate truth. Relating him to the cosmic family as his own, Krishna reiterates that, Arjuna, you know, in my family, what is my position? I am the father, I am the grandfather also. Can we ever think of it? Father and grandfather becoming the one person? That is what Sri Krishna says, meaning, I am the father from which all this has come. But you go beyond seeking their origin, that also will reach up to me. Pitaham, Pitamaha, all are from me only, Arjuna. And when we hear this, we can immediately understand why from Vedic times, our great seers, when they offered the oblations, they went on adding, Idam Namama. There is nothing in this universe which belongs to us. And here comes now the beautiful credit cards which Krishna starts distributing to his devotees. We will also stand in queue to get one card at least from him. Arjuna, because I am the father and the grandfather, you know how much I love my creation. I cannot think of hating any bit of my creation. Everybody is dear to me, Arjuna. I am all the way concerned about the welfare of the universe. Because, Arjuna, I am the one who take care of their welfare. Yoga Kshemam Mahamyaham. Imagine, we are thinking it is our bank deposit, it is the love from our family members, or it is a power and position we get in the society which are taking care of us. No, no. It is He, as our Pita, as our grandsire. It is who takes care of our Yoga Kshemam Mahamyaham. And this credit card is for the Jiva, not Jivita. Our LIC has borrowed this Yoga Kshema Mahamyaham, but it is valid only for our life. When we die, the money will go to the nominee. That is all. But Sri Krishna's Yoga Kshema Mahamyam, which he has uttered, these words are eternal. Once we have been able to get that credit card by pleasing him, by developing our expansive awareness to include the entire macro family of his, we consider ourselves as his grandchildren, that he is our father and our grandfather. If that sort of a awareness can get into us, this credit card will always remain with us, and there is nothing for us to worry. As I always repeat, the whole government of the universe will be ever ready to protect you. There is only one condition, suppose, that we should accept him, not only as our Lord and Master, but as Pita and Pitama. Lord and Master will be some sort of an official relationship, but Pita Pitamaha, that is beyond words. Even dearer than the Pita is sometimes the Pitamaha. Our grandparents become sometimes dearer to us than the parents. So that is a love and affection which we should give to the God and make him feel that I am your child, I am your child. And that Yoga Kshemam Mahamyaham card will be ever remain with us. After saying this, Krishna doesn't stop. He emphasizes how he pervades the entire universe and how the whole universe abides within him. And because of that, every thought, word, and action, tapas, oblations, everything will go directly. It is what we can see, the speed post. Through the speed post, the minute awareness is there in us, our thoughts, our words, our oblations, our interactions, all of them will carry the seal of our love for Krishna, our awareness of the truth, and will be cleared. Therefore, Krishna says, always remember this in your mind, that you will never have any difficulties in life. Krishna doesn't stop there. He is in a mood of giving. He gave one card. He's not satisfied. I want to give more. You know, in that Gargi Maitreyi Yakyavalkya conversation which comes in Brihadaranyaka, once you start your Atma everywhere, one characteristic which you develop is the process of giving. You want to give. Anybody comes near you, you want to give something. Vivekananda's life we have seen. He sees a poor man, he will go inside, bring one dhoti and give it to him. He must share everything. So that Atmavat, when you see the other person, that giving becomes endless. So Sri Krishna is not happy giving us just one credit card. He searches his pocket. If there is anything more which I can give to my bhaktas, who are so full of austerities, so he gives another one. Name bhakta pranashyati. Wonderful indeed, isn't it? Then he gets convinced of our total surrender. This credit card also is valid for any Janmas we live through, provided this awareness is kept within us. So we have got two credit cards. First one is Yoga Kshemam Vahami. Yoga Kshemam has got two ingredients added to it, yoga and kshema. What you want to acquire things, I will take care of it and I will preserve it also, yoga and kshema. Here, whatever happens to you, there is no death or decay for you because I am there inside you. So, Name Bhakta Pranasyadi. Finally, Sri Krishna reminds Arjuna that every being is ordained to live and work as per the rules and regulations set up by the Almighty. Therefore, he reminds Arjuna, in this birth, at this particular moment of time, your duty is to work for the restoration of dharma. That is my order, Arjuna. You cannot escape from it. Pragadistvam niyakshasi. My Pragati will compel you to work, fight, and annihilate the enemies. This is a great teaching. We should be able to make practical in our lives. First and foremost, to fall in line with the Lord's injunction of a life centered in Satya and Dharma, and then earn the merit and be a worthy object of the special favor and his blessing. So long as our mind emits selfishness, ego, Lord's blessings cannot enter it. Once devoid of the ego, all the forces of the universe will start working in our favor and be our guides and protectors because they absorb us into their family. It is our ego and selfishness that kept us separate in any family. Exactly in any family. It is the ego and selfishness of the individual that separates him from the whole. Suppose he has no ego, no this thing, all the time thinking of sharing everything with the family, then he is accepted as the best member. The worldly relationships in a family, which we are considering as bondages, would themselves get transformed into guidelines or torchlights kept before us, helping us to release ourselves from these bondages and ascend to our eternal freedom. That is the duty or the reason for the Grihasthasrama. Grihasthasrama should help you to expand in your awareness and slowly move towards expanding it to be in touch with the totality of the existence. If there was no family, your emotions, everything will be so self-centered. To take you from out of this self-centeredness, the Grihasthasrama is the ideal upadhi, ideal instrument which can take us onward and forward. So this chapter is really, as it has given us these two wonderful credit cards with which we can move about, not only in this world, but in other worlds also. How could Nachiketa go to Yama? He must have had, even though he was only a 7-year-old child, utterly unselfish, totally attuned to truth and dharma, and full of Shraddha. Even as a 7-year-old child, he had these cards with him so that he could travel anywhere, reach anywhere, converse with any Lord and Master. So it brings a new understanding of Nachiketa. So let us once again try to pick up this Manigana from the 9th chapter and add it on to our Gita Japamala. as I had once indicated, from each chapter, we should pick up some of these guiding principles for the Amrit Parivar or our personal happiness and evolution, and create a Japamala. A Japamala, what is the duty of a Japamala? As you go on touching each money, each bead, it brings to your remembrance the Lord or the Master or the experience something, and that enlivens your mind again and again. In the same way, we will create a Gita Japamala and some beautiful additions to that. Ananyas chindayanto mam yejana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamya. That comes in the 22nd stanza in the chapter 9. That is where we get the first credit card, Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. Then Krishna gives another very beautiful idea for us. See, we are always thinking, what can I give to Lord? Can I give a golden kirida or some silk clothes? Or maybe I will renovate the temple or make some fixed amount for donations, things like that. Krishna says, no need, because the whole universe is mine. What is it you can give? All we can give is Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachadi Tadaham Bhaktubahridam Asnami Pretatmana. You take any leaf, a tulasi leaf is best. Take any leaf, identify it with your thought for me, offer it to me. You know, that is how so many people have come to me, offering these bilwa leaves or tulsi leaves, things like that. And you remember Arjuna? Don't you remember the story of my coming to your ashrama? When Panjali was in trouble with that great Durvasa and his thousands of Sishyas waiting there, unable to give food. Yudhishthira was, he did not know what to do. He was shaking with fear. He may curse us. Do you remember how I came there? And what did I get from Panjali, from her? Akshaya Patra? Akshaya Patra. Just a piece of leaf. And eating that, I made the whole universe filled with food in their stomach. You remember, Arjuna? That is enough. A piece of leaf. Pushpa. Arjuna, have you heard about the story of Gajendra? Gajendra Moksha? That Gajendra, Indradyumna, he became an elephant and he was caught hold of by an akra and he was sinking. He did not know what to do. Suddenly he remembered me. He had given up everything. All the elephants left him. He was alone. And this crocodile was not leaving him. At that time, he remembered me, Arjuna. And I had, I knew that I had put one lotus near him so that he can take that lotus. And he offered it to me with a full heart. And I went rushing to him. Don't you know, Arjuna, that? Patram, Pushpam, Phalam. You remember, Arjuna, my story of Sri Rama? You must have heard in Ramayana. What did Sabari give me? Just a few fruits. And I was so happy. And I gave her salvation. That great king who was starving, he gave me food and everything. Finally, I gave him salvation. when he offered the last glass of water which he had kept for his family, he gave that water to me and I took the whole family with me. Yoga kshemam mahamya. I took the whole family with me, Arjuna. So never, never for a moment you doubt what you can offer to me. Anything. You can put your hand anywhere. Maybe one flower or one leaf or anything you give me. I will be happy because the whole universe is me only, Arjuna. What is there you can give to me? All I want is the mind, the surrender of your mind. Even if you cannot do that, Sri Krishna reminds him, Yat karoshi yadasnasi yajjuhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tad kurushama darpana. I have made it into a prayer and I sing it every now and then. Yat karomi yadasnami yajjuhomi dadami yat tapasyami govinda tad kurush karodi tadarpana. It can be made into a very beautiful prayer. And Sri Krishna will be very happy. Anytime you're taking anything, you can say Brahmarpanam Brahma Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Offer to him. That could be a very beautiful, be a new addition to our Japamala. And last but not the least is wonderful card again. Kshipram Bhavati Dharmatma Saswas Chandim Nigachati. Kaunteya Pratijanihi. I swear, 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 Arjuna. Satyam, Satyam, Satyam. Name Bhakta Pranasya. My bhaktas, one who is devoted to me, will never, never have any sufferings in his life. So these are the additions for our Japamala. And these 4 verses are so very beautiful, so very beautiful, so very consoling, so very thrilling that we can wear them all the time. And these stanzas which I mentioned in such connections, it will be good for you to read Bhagavad Gita again, get a good commentary and read it again and understand the meaning. For us now, they can become part of our, as we keep photos of our people in our drawing rooms and in the amritha parivar, we can hang these slokas so that all the time we will be remembering Sri Krishna and his wonderful words through Arjuna to all of us. Sri Krishna, Namo.